Hello, I'm Patricia PIONORIO. I will present to you my article regarding challenges of project portfolio management process. Business nowadays are adapting to the challenges they face in the modern world and also adjusting to the difficulties that will arise in the future and also for the ones they are facing in the present. And with the state of the global economy changing rapidly, the companies must follow up this speed and implement dynamic and adaptable strategies. Here is a brief outline regarding the presentation, a brief introduction of the topic, uh, how I conducted the research and review process, when analysis of the project portfolio management in the literature background, and our conclusion. Here in the introduction, I wrote the topic project portfolio management. It has been studied since the 1950s, and even though it's a topic that has been going on for a while, it is still a hot topic. A lot of new research have been developed in this field. Uh, the topic project portfolio management it started in around 1950s with Markowitz. He used the, the theory to apply for the finance department, and in 1999 these two authors, Archer and Gazinsadeh, they published an article regarding project portfolio selection using most of the ideas and the theory from Markowitz. So they applied the, the theory from finance and implemented it in project management. Uh, Due to this difference between the business in the 1950s and nowadays in the 2020s, the companies are investing more in the field of research and also investing in the project portfolio development. The research and review process that was used as a guideline to conduct this study were three main sources. The first one is from the International Journal of Project Management. The other one is from the Journal of Planning Education and Research. And the third one is from a Brazilian conference, and it was published in the Procedure Manufacturing. Gathering all the information from the previous articles, the three ones that I just cited, the research and review process was conducted uh, developing a research technique and data collecting, establishing the parameters that would be used for this research, evaluating and selecting the proper articles according to the topic and our field of study, and collecting and analyzing all this information that we get. The first interpretation here that I brought, all these graphs were designed by us. It's a general growing trend of project portfolio management research between 1969 and 2022. As I said before, from the 1950s until the end of 1999, the research conducted in this field was kind of linear. It appeared once in a while, but it didn't have that much growth. But after the publishment of the articles regarding project portfolio management using the theory from the financial department, it had exponential increase, and it is still a hot topic nowadays. Another conclusion that we brought is the, this graph that shows how the research on project portfolio management has been developed and divided according to the research field. As we can see, the engineering, business management and accounting, and also computer science, these three fields, they are responsible for more than 50% of the research in project portfolio management. Another graph that we brought here is regarding the language that the articles were published between 1969 and 2022. 96% of the papers published in this field were in English language, and the other 4% are divided in a lot of languages such as German, Portuguese, Russian, Chinese, Spanish, French, and go on. And one interesting fact here is that even though the most of the papers are published in English, there are some countries on the top 10 publishing countries in the field that are not English speaking, such as Brazil, Russia, China, and Germany as well. Here is another evaluation of the papers according to the type of paper. As we can see, 50% of the papers published in this field comes from journals, 35% from conference proceedings, and around 12% from book and book series together. Here, it's a map that we developed, this graph, to show how are the research in the field spread around the world. As we can see, the darker the country, the most publishing articles the country has. So it's pretty clear here that the United States is the leading country with more than 1,000 articles in the field, being followed by the United Kingdom with around 420 papers. After that, we do have Germany, Australia, China, Brazil, Canada, Netherlands, Russia, and Italy. Bringing a definition from the topic, project portfolio management, directly from the Project Management Institute. What is project portfolio management? Project portfolio management is a dynamic activity through which an organization invests its resources to achieve its strategic objectives. And this is done by a series of steps: identifying, categorizing, monitoring, evaluating, integrating, selecting, prioritizing, optimizing, balancing, authorizing, transitioning, controlling, and finally terminating the project components. Here we brought some advantages of implementing project portfolio management in a company. Among the main advantages we can cite that it will provide an improved system for selecting the projects on which to work, a clear understanding of a more distinct point of view, establishing the company goals in as much detail as possible, focusing on the measurable goals, the importance of the successful teamwork endeavors over the individual achievement, effective utilization of the available resources of the company, also we will have an enhanced project performance statistic for measuring the project success, improvements in the timelines of project deliveries, increasing the percentage of on-time project completion, decrease the likelihood of an organizational risk, better thought out informed decisions based on more careful consideration and information, and the achievement of a rise in the amount of return on investment with the growing company's revenues. Here I just brought the advantages, and from now on I will talk about the challenges faced in this uh, field implementation. One of the main challenges companies face are the difficulty viewing the collected data due to lack of availability to obtain this data. This will have a high impact on the productivity if the company don't have an organized system to check what are the projects, which step are the projects being developed, and so on. So it will take a lot of time to go over all this data and this material, which will decrease the productivity. The precious time that could be used for managing the project, it would be used here looking for the data and after that evaluating this data. Another challenge is failure to properly allocate the resources. The other one as well is expenditures tend to increase the likelihood of making mistakes. The bigger, the more mistakes it can happen. And as I previously mentioned, the time investment required to carry out administrative responsibilities might be substantial, especially when there is no availability of the needed data. Other challenges faced are the expenditures in the projects, also the distinct regulations that are applied for each type of investment asset. So if each type of investment asset has its own regulation, it would be challenging to work with a lot of different investment assets. It will bring a lot of time and it will be a challenge to manage all these distinct regulations at the same time. Another challenge is important decisions that need to be made, and these decisions need all the data, the most possible data to evaluate the current situation of the project and to take the decision if the project must be paused, cancelled, or moving forward to the next step. And it's a really big challenge making these decisions without having the accurate information about the project. Um, Thank you.